Nigeria's political landscape is shifting so fast. There are high stakes now. Closed-door meetings are going on between what we saw, national chairman of the APC and Bauchi State Governor, which happened today, and is now raising fresh concerns and questions about loyalty, leverage, the future of the opposition politics in Nigeria. Just yesterday, we saw how leaders of the African Democratic Congress met with the same governor, signaling what could be a major political realignment ahead of 2027. This is the chair of the PDP Governors Forum that is planning an exit, and it's now become the beautiful bride from different political parties. In 48 hours, it's been visited by different political parties. Now, a growing speculation now over defections, a widening contest for influence across the northern Nigeria, particularly in Kano, where alliances are rapidly evolving. We see Gawuna, who is now resigned from the APC, and now he's gone to the ADC and is now aligning forces. It's so interesting. Now, Gawuna was an APC governorship candidate in Kano against Governor Kabiru of NNPP. Now, governor had moved to APC. The governor and Kwankwaso were on the same side. Literally, people said, give it to Kwankwaso. Kwankwaso helped the governor to become Kabiru Yusuf, to become Kano governor against Gawuna. Gawuna got about 800,000 votes as against Kabiru Yusuf, who got over 1 million votes. But this time around, we're now seeing the four in 2023 aligning with Kwankwaso. That's definitely going to be against Kabiru Yusuf. And, you know, in Hausa language, Kwankwaso has said that there will be someone who is going to pay for the act of betrayal. Tonight, we are asking, is this strategic repositioning or political opportunism, or what does this mean for Nigeria's democratic balance? Let me speak with one man whom I know that he's not too much of he's not usually very political in his response. He says it the way, if he doesn't want to say it, he won't say it, but he says the way it is. He was a former minority leader in the House of Representatives, Honorable Faruk Aliu. He's live for us here in our studio. Thanks so much indeed for your time tonight.
Good evening, Sharon. Good evening, Nigeria.
Are you happy that your party has decimated the opposition? Now it's looking like a one-party state. Everybody is in one bucket. But even the ADC, INEC has said, we will not recognize your convention or your congresses. APC seems to be the only party that could be on the ballot. Is that good?
No, it's not good. It's really sad that we in APC don't want one-party state. Certainly. It's not part of what we want.
Isn't that what you have done?
No. But that's all we want. We didn't do it to make sure that it's one-party state. But then if you look at what happened from the beginning, this kind of poaching, it started by the opposition, those guys in the opposition. Nigerians can remember very well when, you know, some heavyweights in our movement, the El Rufai of this world, the Malemi of this world, and so many of them, the Amechi of this world, all of them, when they were poached from us. So we had to also think, what do we do? You take El Rufai, we take Sharif, Delta. You take Malami, we take Dauda Lawa. You know, that kind of thing. So it's political strategy. Whatever they do, we try to do better. But that is not in any way that we want one-party state. And in the wisdom of the opposition, you know, to me, my heart bleeds because I was in the opposition and we opposed PDP to stand still. So in the wisdom of those in the opposition, if they decide to defect to us, that's not our problem. But what is the problem of the opposition? What happened? And what happened was their problem. You remember in 2014 convention of the PDP, that was the beginning of the problem. It wasn't APC's making. You remember when Atiku got the ticket, when I think FCT minister was promised vice presidential ticket, he didn't get it, he decided to, you know, that kind of thing. So that's their problem. That's one. Then two, you remember very well also in this country we have an unwritten agreement whereby North and South. So in the APC we were very strategic. When Buhari finished 8 years, we agreed, all of us, at least a majority of us, that look, this power must shift to the South. In the wisdom of PDP, decided to leave the power in the north. So a lot of people in the PDP were very angry. They were aggrieved. They left. So that was the beginning of the disintegration of PDP. That's not our problem. It's their problem. It started from them. So we have vested from their misfortune. But still, if they have the interest of this country, they should unite, just like we saw a convention, one in Ibadan and another one in Abuja here. What makes them to look at Sule Lamido, who was not with this group, but because he said the interest of Nigeria and the party is beyond everything, he decided to grudgingly, but still in the interest of the country, according to him, he joined the Wike faction, which was recognized by law, in the interest of Nigeria and their party. So what stops the other people to also join in the interest of the country and the interest of the party? So we don't want one-party state. In fact, we detest it, we reject it, we don't want it, because we want to be opposed. Because this country does not belong to APC, neither the government belongs to President Tinubu, it belongs to all of us.
You know what some political analysts, the permutation, is that in fact, boxing the opposition into one basket is a disaster for your party.
That is true.
Because you have now forced them to harness all the resources into one hole. What then that means is that all the votes that were scattered in 2023 will now be harnessed into one bucket. And I saw some very jejune and very myopic and very pedestrian response on Twitter for one young fellow who doesn't really understand what politics is and what political mathematics is all about. The fact that, yes, it doesn't automatically mean that Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar, if they are on the same ticket, they will get exact figure. But I'll remind everyone that Buhari has always come around with a similar figure to an election. It's a design that those who follow you have the tendency, except if you have lost them, you have a margin of error of a few figures here and there. There is a tendency, if Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi join forces, those figures might follow them. It's almost you can almost do the permutation that there are states in the North Central that Peter Obi could win. The Southeast could almost 90% go with Peter Obi. South, maybe 50% go to Peter Obi. Peter Obi could also get Lagos, as he got it in and Northeast can have a sympathy for Atiku Abubakar. If both of them are on the same ballot, isn't that a danger for your party and a surprise defeat that could happen?
In fact, we are praying. May they come together. May Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi come together. There are certain things I'm not going to say on air. In fact, that's our prayer. When they come together, look, when you spoke about Buhari always came with those votes. In the opposition, there is nobody like Buhari. But in our government, Buhari's people are there. The foot soldiers of Buhari are there with Tinubu.
You lost some of them.
No.
We lost Malam.
No, we lost.
Erufa.
That's true.
And these
we lost some. We lost some. But majority, look, we lost some members. That's true of the Buhari camp. But majority of the Buhari camp are with Tinubu, with APC. Simple. So if you're talking about Buhari's votes, they will certainly go for Tinubu. So to us, that Buhari's votes are there with Tinubu. And then coupled with the fact that, look, a lot of permutation talking about northerners. I mean, we didn't fall from heaven. We are also from the north. Those of us that can die for Tinubu. Because it's not about Tinubu, it's about our party. It's about the leader. He's the leader of our party and he's our candidate. So we'll do everything within the law to ensure he becomes president. Again, simple. So that's it. So some of my brothers and sisters from northern part of the country who are aggrieved, we beg of them to please come back. Come back and join this government, this moving train. Because whether you like it or not, as the horizon shows now, the party to win this election is APC.
You are originally, those days, a Kano man.
Yes, but still, I
am.
That's true.
Until Jigawa happened. And
yes.
So, a full-blown Fulani man who has his
front and back
in the original Kano.
Yes.
You see what is happening.
Yes.
Kabri Yusuf, Abba Yusuf, Kwankwaso, Gawuna, and how much of an intrigue, and what does this mean for your party?
It is really concerning We're not ignoring. Look, nobody can ignore Kwankwaso in Kano. And we're not ignoring him. No, 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 no. We're wary of Kwankwaso. We know what he can do. But we are also not sitting down. We know what he does. We know how he does his things. We are trying to counter him. But we are not underestimating him. We respect him. We respect his followership. But we're also there. We'll do everything possible to poach from his followership. And also, we also have a sitting governor now in place.
Who was helped by Kwankwaso?
Yeah, exactly. Kwankwaso did everything for him. Give it to him. But then he's with us now. He has come to join our party with members from Kwankwaso's camp. They're also there.
And it's the allegation that he has left a lot of people behind. Those whom he's not carrying a lot of them.
Thank God he said allegation, you know, but I think it's allegation really. But the 44 local government chairmen nominated, appointed, installed by Kwankwaso are all together with Abba Yusuf now. All of them. Most members of the State Assembly are. And these are the people that go to the grassroots. But of course we cannot ignore Kwankwaso. We respect him.
But a lot of people forget that Kwankwaso net is not only in Kano. He's in places like Jigawa. He has his tentacles in Sokoto. He has his tentacles in part of Kaduna. In fact, if Kwankwaso enters Agege in Lagos, you'll be shocked. If he enters My 12 in Lagos, you'll be shocked. That is the influence of that man. That some people will say your party has lost to the opposition because there are talks that Kwankwaso wanted to come to the APC, but there were repels into him.
Well, I don't want to go into why Kwankwaso didn't join. You know, he has his reasons. But as I told you, we respect Kwankwaso. We admire him. But at the APC presently constituted, Kwankwaso cannot do anything in Jigawa where I come from. Honestly. Nothing.
Oh, you can't take away the fact that he has influence.
Oh, he does.
And
he does.
There are members in Jigawa.
There are Kwankwasia everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, that's true. There are Kwankwasia everywhere. They are there. But there are more Kwankwasia in Kano than anywhere. So if you say Kwankwaso is a threat to us in Kano, yes. Outside Kano, there is nowhere Kwankwaso is a threat to APC. Honestly. In Kano, yes, he's a threat. And we're not losing, you know, we are wary of that. We are studying to see what he will do, to see how we can counter him and his followers also.
What do you make? Bala Mohammed, interesting, two-term governor, chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, who is now looking for the exit door in the PDP. It does look like the exit could lead into an entrance door into another political party. So he's weighing his options. Why is Bala Mohammed important in the equation at the moment?
Well, one, he's the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum. It will be a plus for any party. Now, let me tell you one of the reasons why our members went there today. Yesterday, when the ADC members went, I think he sent a message. And the message was that, look, let me go where I am wanted. So he inferred that, look, we don't want him. Now, our leadership went to him to tell him that, look, we want you. The door is open. If you want, come. Bala, please come. So that's what our members went to tell him, which means he is wanted. We want him in APC if he decides to come to APC. But if he decides to go where he said he will go, because yesterday what he said was that, look, these people, let me go where I am wanted. So we said, okay, please let's go there and tell them that, look, we also want you. Then by tomorrow he's going to make up his mind. We hope he comes to APC. If he doesn't come to APC, well, wherever he goes, we are putting our eyes everywhere to see what are the permutations. And look, we have a war room where we describe and decide on each state, each local government, each ward. We have our chessboard where we do the calculations to find out where do we have problems. And we know there are certain places that we will not win. That we know. We're not telling you we're going to win everywhere, landslide in Nigeria, like everywhere. But the election to us is done deal that APC is going to take over this country.
One thing that a lot of people are now asking is that don't you dare in your party disrupt the ADC. You've disrupted and you've decimated the opposition enough. Leave the ADC alone, except if you want only Bola Tinubu and the APC on the ballot. And that would be disastrous, don't you think, for our democracy?
Sheon, I take exception to you or anybody who thinks that we are stopping them. No. One day here, I said it, we will put sand inside their gari. That's exactly what we're doing. We're not disrupting them. The way they put sand inside our gari, I told you.
That is the sand.
Yeah. Because they also put sand inside our gari.
As you are putting the sand, our democracy, there is sand in our democracy.
No, but well, and they started with, they took away some members of our party. They started taking the big wigs from us. We should not sit down and allow them take everybody away. So that's exactly what.
But it's destroying our democracy, don't you think?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, if anybody is serious about opposition, please stay in opposition and oppose us. Because we want viable opposition. We want people to oppose us so that we can get, this country can get better.
On a good day, free and fair elections, can your party face Nigerians, defend its policies to the Nigerian people and say, look, we can win election on the steam of our performance? Because in the opposition, their own verdict is that this government has failed. APC is a disaster to Nigeria. I mean, on a good day, there are those who say, if elections are conducted today, APC will lose. You have lost your popularity, and that's the position of the opposition. How easy do you think it will be for your party to defend its performance?
It is very subjective, you know. Yes, there are challenges. Certainly, there are a lot of challenges in the economy, challenges in security, and so on. But are we doing anything deliberate? No. The government is doing its best. But then in the long run, the people will decide. If in the wisdom of Nigerian people, that what we are doing is not good enough, please let us not bring the roof down. Let us love our country. If in the wisdom of Nigerians, we go to the polls, come 2027, Nigerians say, look, the way we defeated PDP, if Nigerians say we don't want APC, so be it. But please, we believe what we are doing, we could have mistakes here and there, but we think what we are doing is the best for this country. A lot of things are good, of course, and there are challenges as well in the security, situation of the country. Yes, there are challenges. The government is doing whatever, it's possible to make sure we bring succor to the country.
There are those who will disagree, and I'm putting the position of the opposition to you tonight to say, can you face the camera tonight, Honorable? And I know the kind of person you are. You are an elder statesman by the virtue of your age and achievement in life. You are not the type that will lie. Nigerians who say
they are suffering. My ego.
No, not like that. I've known you for quite a while now. I know you when you were much younger, agile, and maybe there were no gray hairs when I first saw you.
That's true.
And I'm saying this without not messaging you, but I know that the kind of person you are, that you wouldn't lie on national television. And, facing the Nigerian people and say, the promise you made to the Nigerian people will put out hunger, will provide electricity. And there are those who say, in all of these indices, failure, economic prosperity, you have not delivered to us. On securing our lives, you have failed us. And these are the issues that will come up.
That's my camera. Now let me tell Nigerians, yes, we promise a lot of things. Yes, there are challenges. Yes, we are trying our best. We want Nigerians to still have hope and confidence in us. We will continue to do better, and we will do better. And we promise Nigerians again, because it's hope against hope. And the hope is that, look, we will ensure equity, justice, fair play in this country. So Nigerians, I beg of you to please forgive some of our shortcomings. We are human beings. And give us another opportunity to do better. And we need the cooperation of the opposition. What I'm saying, the cooperation of the opposition is, please continue to oppose us constructively for this country to be better. So that's it.
Honorable Faruk Aliu, always a pleasure having you in your signature black and white.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take a break, everyone. But when we return, we'll talk about counterterrorism, the escalating tension in our land. Experts today gathered in Abuja. And one thing on their mind is that this violence must stop. But how? We'll find out after this break. And a second, everyone.